All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a very special Goddesses of War edition of the BCP. And right now, so stoked to welcome ahead of her match at Goddesses of War 2, The Revenge, September 26th at Ocean Gate, New Jersey. Tickets are still available at the door, which is tomorrow, guys. Get your tickets now. She is the current Monster Factory Pro Wrestling Girls Champ. She's the gift of Gab herself, ladies and gentlemen. We are not worthy. Please welcome to the show, Miss Gabby Ortiz. Gabby, what's up? How are you?
Stop it. Hi.
Thanks for tuning in. It's a pleasure to talk to you after just like a show-stealing match last time at Goddesses 1 against Holodeck. I mean, we were blown away. There was just that match got a lot of time, a lot of great spots. How did you feel about that debut at Goddesses 1?
It was awesome. It was my first match back after when quarantine started. So I was so freaking nervous. I was
Really?
like, I don't remember how to wrestle. Not true.
Not true.
I don't remember. I don't know what I'm doing out there. But we were given the most time limit of all the girls on the show. So they must have trusted us with that, which I felt very, very honored about. So Holodeck is terrifying.
You're not wrong.
But she's professional in her own special way. So I felt like I was in good hands, and I was. And we've gotten good feedback about that match. And there's obviously stuff about it that if I could go back, I'd fix this, I'd fix that, I would do this different, I would do that different. But that's how you're always going to be. That's how, if you're a performer, if you're a sports entertainer or an athlete, whoever you are, I'm sure you, when you're done podcasts, you're like, oh, I wish I asked them this question. And
sure.
So you're always just going to be your biggest critique. So.
Absolutely, and that's a good thing. It means you care, which is great. And again, like you said, that match did get the most time. You didn't look like you were nervous. You didn't look like it was your first time back for sure. And we touched on this. It's been a weird year. 2020 has been a trip for all of us. Like we always say here, please everyone just look out for each other, take care of each other. What was it like for you just kind of during that quarantine time, that downtime? I know not a lot of people got to go to gyms and all that. We talked to Pat Buck, first name drop, I'm sorry. He said your body gets calcified and all that kind of stuff. What was your quarantine situation like?
It sucked. I was miserable. I went stir crazy. I literally went stir crazy. I had to get some help for that, which I'm totally fine talking about. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I went to I just had a hard time with the adjustment and the fear. I was very scared. I live with my dad, who's very high risk for the virus if he were to, God forbid, ever get it. So, and he's my best friend, and I was just really scared for him and stuff. And then I was nervous about my careers, both my careers, because I work in government and I wrestle. Yeah. So I'm and both those things are kind of just put on hold. And I felt what is my purpose now? And when you start thinking, what's my purpose? You start getting a little existential, and then you start getting really deep and you go into dark places, and then it's hard to come out of that. So I had to get some help, and I'm glad I did, because I'm better than I ever have been now that I've gotten that help. So it ended up being kind of a blessing in disguise, because I was able to kind of go on this journey of really difficult self-discovery, but I'm thankful for it, and I came out better and stronger. So I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that, or are going through something similar, and I'm here to tell them that they'll be okay.
Wow, that's amazing. That's really good to hear. I think 2020 has been challenging for a lot of us. And someone like you who's so talented, and it seems like you have it all. You're stealing the show. You're just taking over the wrestling world one day at a time. And you even say it's healthy for people to reach out. So I really appreciate you sharing that. 2020 has been a trip. Because of life. I was with my dad during quarantine at a certain time. He's pushing 70. I was super, super careful. So I totally get that. So it's weird. Nunez always says on the show, it's things are getting better and worse at the same time. But yes. I am thankful that we have wrestling right now. Mm-hmm. And I did want to ask you this more, more fun stuff. Going back to that match, I want to talk about your gear, because I believe it's Bob's Burger inspired. Tell us a little bit about that.
Bob's Burgers is my favorite show. That's not an exaggeration. That's not me trying to be funny or court. It's my absolute favorite show. It's my bedtime show. It's my lunchtime show. It's my I'm sad show. It's I'm happy show. It's just the show that I put on. It means a lot to me. It's been there for me. Like, even when because sometimes, like, when you're a wrestler, it can be, like, difficult to watch wrestling. Like, and that might just be me, but, like, sometimes I need to, like, step away from it to, like, love it again. Because, like, I'm kind of just, like, I have, like, a weird, me and wrestling. But, so that's something that's been there for me when wrestling, like, kind of couldn't. When I was a little angry at wrestling. So
I get it. Yeah.
It's just something that means a whole lot to me. And I wanted to make a tribute to it with my gear, and the creator responded to me about it. He was like, "This is so awesome. Did you win your match?" And I was like, "No."
It was great.
Like, my next win is for you.
That's awesome. And speaking of your next match, that's really cool to hear, though. I'm not familiar with. I believe it's Megan Mason coming up at this event. Anything you can tell? I mean, don't give anything away, but anything about, like, your game plan, how you're feeling about going into this one after a show-stealing match at the last Goddesses event.
So with Holodeck, like, she has so much footage out there. So, like, I was able to watch a lot of her stuff.
That's smart. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of her wrestling in person. I know her. I've known her for years. But this girl, I don't know anything about her. Like, she's brand new. There's not a lot of footage of her out there. Like, all I know is she has, like, a Mother Endless as, like, her cult leader or something like that.
Really? She's a social. Wow, I didn't know that.
There's something. She's, like, trying to, like, make Mother Endless proud of her or something like that. And so she's like, I'm sure, and she released, like, a promo about it that was like, I'm sure, you're underestimating me. I don't underestimate anybody. I never have. Like, I've been underestimated my entire career, and I've, like, shown everybody up on that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I would never do that to somebody else, because, like, people are capable of so much more than they even know themselves. So I'm not underestimating her at all. In fact, I'm, like, kind of overestimating her, because she might have, like, some screws loose in there, and she might do something a little crazy. So I gotta be extra on the ball.
No, that's very interesting, and I appreciate you saying all that. I'm stoked for this. Like I said, the bar's been set very high with Goddesses. It was a very special show. Yeah. We did have Mother Endless on. That was probably, that or the Boogeyman was probably the scariest interviews that we've done. So that was super interesting. But oh boy. But we were talking about Holodeck. I did want to run this by you. Holodeck obviously taking on Christina Marie in the cage match tomorrow night, which would be very interesting. Have you ever had any interest or any experience being in a match like that? And is that something you'd want to be a part of?
Possibly.
Oh,
if the opportunity arises, I will take it. I'm not seeking out for it. I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
But, like, I'm not one to say no to, like, an opportunity. That's gonna be awesome. Like, they're both insane. Like, they're both crazy ladies, so it'll be great. I'm sure they'll, like, tear the house down, tear the cage down.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. It should be a great event. And guys, again, shameless promo. Please get your tickets now. Socially distance, bring your own chair, all that good stuff. It's just, I'm so thankful to have any sort of event these days. So it's going to be great. So doing a lot of my homework and getting ready to prep for this interview. And tell me if I'm completely off base. This is why we don't do this live. I think I saw a picture of you with, like, Liv Tyler or something like that.
Yeah,
from like a movie set. I would love to hear that story.
Okay. You're the first person that I've ever talked to on a podcast about this, because I've never really posted about it too much before, like, since I've been wrestling. I was a child actor when I was a child. Yes.
Wow.
Not like, I didn't do anything particularly of notoriety or anything like that. But when you are a child in a movie, there's certain laws that prohibit you from working a certain amount of hours because of, like, child labor laws, which are important. And so they have to have something called a stand-in, which I go in, and they use, like, my hands, with the back of my head, like, my legs, my back at some point are in the movie. So she was able to work an hour earlier the next day. Like, it's like a weird loophole or something where, like, if they use another girl's body or like a body double, then she can come into work an hour earlier the next day. So I was in that movie, The Jersey Girl, which is a movie by Kevin Smith. Liv Tyler was in the movie. You like
super
that movie?
Underrated. I enjoy it. Super underrated. I love that movie.
I love it too.
Yeah, okay, good. I'm sorry to interrupt. But yeah, I love that.
No,
movie.
I haven't seen it in ages. It's since the premiere when we all went to the premiere for it,
That's awesome.
which was super cool. And so we were filming around Halloween, and all the kids that were in the movie were working on Halloween, and like that sucks. You know, you're a kid, you want to be out for Halloween and stuff. So Kevin Smith and like the production staff, they were like, we're gonna have trick or treating on the trailers. So like all like the celebrities, all the like J-Lo, Ben Affleck, like J-Lo would be hanging out on set even though she wasn't in the movie for that long. George Carlin, yeah. Mike Starr, like they're all on this like a laundry list of just like amazing people were giving out candy from their trailers, and the kids would walk around and awesome. Give out candy. And Liv Tyler, like she was my friend. Like we were buddies. Oh, awesome. So I didn't have a costume because it was so last minute. My mom was like, "Oh, you're not trick or treating this year. Like, we're not getting you a costume. You're working." And I was like, "I'm 7."
Yeah, I want candy.
So then when she heard that, she like panicked and was like, had one of the aides watch me and was like, "I have to go get her a costume." So she ran to like Walgreens and got me a ghost face mask and like stuck me in her work blazer and was like, "This is your costume." I had never seen Scream. I never wanted to. I hate scary movies. But she like made it work.
That's awesome to hear though, and that's like extra mile that they did the trick or treating for the kids.
Yeah,
I got to meet Kevin a couple days ago because they opened like the movies pop up in Red Bank here, and of course extra mile guy, he just comes walking in like, "Oh hey, there's Kevin Smith." But that what a cast to be involved with. That's so cool.
Sweet. It was very cool.
Oh my gosh! I mean George Carlin. I mean, come on, the names go on and on.
I have a picture of George Carlin like putting candy in my little pail.
Oh, I kind of need to see that. That's amazing. That's so cool. I mean, a legend for sure. Now you talk about acting, kind of a two-part question here. Is that something you would like to get involved with again? And do you kind of see a lot of parallels between acting and the circus that is the world of wrestling?
The parallels are just like so obvious if you come from the world of acting and theater. It's just like, it's gross. Like when I think about it, I'm like, oh, I just went back to theater. Like I didn't. It's no different. No, it is different. There's obviously a lot more difference to it, but there are a lot of like very striking parallels as well. Which is why I kind of just felt so comfortable in the business, you know. Because I was used to the critiques you get. I was used to the rejections and constantly learning and studying, no matter what you're doing. Like. I study for wrestling when I'm watching sitcoms because I'm like hearing for lines, for promo ideas, you know, for reactions, like how would someone react to like crazy situations that happen in a sitcom? Like what if like that happens to me in the ring or something? Like how could I use that as a reaction? So you just have to find something in everything. And that's the same thing with acting too. Like you always have to be learning. And theater and wrestling are just, they're kindred spirits. Anybody will tell if there's more people than you think that have both in their like in their resume. I promise you. I'm just more willing to talk about it.
No, that's super interesting. Are there any like certain sitcoms, like obviously we know Bob's Burgers, but are there any like certain like sitcoms that you love or like certain characters that you would pull from?
Jack Donaghy from 30 Rock.
Oh, dude, I got so many quotable lines. Great show.
Yes. Chef's kiss. Me and my dad just rewatched it recently. Like,
so good.
I mean, like there are some things that like don't necessarily hold up for like the time we're in now, but
yeah,
like, it's still so good. And like Liz Lemon is just like, say I go to NXT, like hypothetically I go to NXT or something. I would change would want my name in NXT to be Liz Dexter because her name is Liz Lemon and she always had her fake husband, astronaut Mike Dexter.
Yes.
So I would see Liz Dexter, like if she got married to him.
That's amazing. I feel like we should end the podcast with like the Kenneth Freeze thing that he does. But I digress. So Gabby, obviously things are going great for you. You know, you're back in action. It probably feels great to be wrestling again. You're stealing the show. I'm excited for Goddesses 2 tomorrow. We always say WrestleMania is that grandest stage of them all. Say you do have that WrestleMania moment, that WrestleMania match, because I'm not going to lie to you. You know, we've been doing this podcast for a couple years. I think a year or two from now, a lot of you ladies will be on our TVs every night. I really do believe that. You guys are doing great. And I think, if you do have that WrestleMania moment, you're coming out, what band would play you out to the ring?
Fall Out Boy.
Done. You knew that was coming.
Like, I didn't even let you finish the question. Fall Out Boy every time. I have a Fall Out Boy tattoo. I just bought a Fall Out Boy shirt that's like an old school vintage one. The other day it just came in. They're my favorite band. They were on Family Feud recently. It was funny.
Really?
Yeah, it would be Fall Out Boy every time.
I loved it. Did you get tickets for the Hella Mega Tour with Green Day and Weezer? Yeah. We'll wait. I guess we'll have to wait a couple years for that, but heck of a lineup.
They rescheduled it for August 2021, but like, who knows?
Okay. Yeah. Hey, we're all doing our best and praying, but that really is going to be a hell of a show.
Yes.
For sure. Talk to us a little bit about, we mentioned, obviously, I see a lot of you ladies being on our TVs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it's going to be. Talk to us a little bit about being in that Women of Honor tournament. I was watching some matches earlier today.
Oh, wow. That was like prehistoric Gabby Ortiz. That's what it feels like. It feels like it was so long ago. That was my first break. That was like the first chance I was given. Ring of Honor is the first company. Ring of Honor and Stardom in Japan are the first companies that took a chance on me. Like, when I probably didn't really not deserve it. I mean, you get what you deserve, I guess, in good ways and bad ways. And they were the first companies that like got me out there and like took a chance on me and gave me opportunities and stuff. So I'm forever like grateful and thankful for them. To have like a TV style match, one of your first, like, I was maybe 12, 13 matches in at that point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I hadn't wrestled a lot at that point. Like, I had just gone back home from Japan. I had 10 matches in Japan, and like back home I had only had 5. It's like 15 matches in, I would say. I had a couple like little indie matches and shows here and there before that tournament, but like I was still very green. I still consider myself a little bit green. There's always room to like grow and learn. But thank you.
I disagree.
My boyfriend would say otherwise. He would be like, "You're still green as grass." Like, so it was very intimidating. But Delirious was my agent. I didn't understand a word he said when he was agenting my match, but and Christopher Daniels helped me out too. Which made me like sick to my stomach at the time because like I love Christopher Daniels. Like, I was like so nervous. Like, I didn't even hear a word he said. I was just like, Christopher Daniels is talking to me right now. He's like telling me what to do in my match that's gonna be on TV. Kill me! Oh my god! Like, but I'm sure I played it super cool. And Jessie Bonesaw Brooks, my opponent, is amazing. I miss her dearly. I want her back in wrestling because she's like a powerhouse. I hope she's okay. I'm sure she's fine. She's very smart. And it was like the coolest experience ever. And then like it happened a couple more times. I had a few more times with Ring of Honor, so I made a pretty decent impression. And they're inching their way back. They're doing tapings and stuff, so I still have a good relationship with them. Like, it's not like anything happened. It's just their women's division is a lot smaller than other ones. So,
sure. Yeah, they have those were solid matches too. I really enjoyed watching those. And I think I think the first time I saw you live was probably 2.5 years ago, maybe at the first standalone wrestling event. I think you accompanied LSG to the ring, and I owe him a couple bucks because I remember that the heel in the match had thrown dollars or whatever, and LSG took them and started throwing them out to the crowd, and I actually made some money that night, so that was I owe him a couple bucks for that. But you've come a long way. I think you might have hit like a running Hurricane Rana or something during that match. A little interference there, so that was really cool.
I don't remember what I hit, but I remember getting hit.
Yeah, there you go. That's the stuff you remember. But not to be cliche here, but moving forward, there's a lot going on. You're involved with Goddesses. We have that title match between Adina and Mimi, 2 of our friends. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you have a match with Mimi at Monster Factory as well. I saw that on Twitter today. So what's kind of the goal here? It's interesting. Like, would it be like short-term goals, like would it be to get that Goddess championship, represent the brand, and then more so, what are also your long-term goals?
Yeah, I want the Goddesses. I want to get the
Yeah, you
Goddess.
do.
Yeah, I want that. It's a beautiful belt, and I think I would represent it well. So that's, and I've wrestled Mimi like a ton of times, and I think she's gonna retain it for a while. I have like kind of a feeling that she will. I don't think she's gonna get my belt though. That's for damn sure. So, I love the girl, but like she's a lot younger than me. I'm a lot smarter than her, a lot more experience. So like, I think I have an upper leg with that. She's not getting my belt. Like I'm thinking about it now, it's like getting me a little upset that I have to even. I've had it for so long. I've had it all through quarantine. Like it's like a part of me now. So yeah, I want the Goddesses belt. That's like a relatively like halfway like short-term, long-term goal because I don't really know how long it would take for me to like climb the rungs of the roster to get up there. Long-term would be to get signed. It's like sign a paper somewhere, and I mean I think that's the goal for most of us. There's so much out there though. There's so much, not competition, but there's just so much talent out there and stuff. Like you have to really stand out and really make waves and stuff and be a good person too. I think that is very important. You don't want to be an asshole. No one wants to deal with an asshole. So yeah, I mean that's like long term. Get signed somewhere. I love AEW, so hey yo, Tony Khan, what's up?
Yeah. I'll tell you this, like I love watching AEW. I love watching AEW Dark. I turn on the TV. I'm like, oh, that's my guy. That's my friend. Like, and
isn't that crazy?
Right, dreams come true, and that's why again, like I have no doubt in my mind that all you ladies are really gonna go very, very far. It fills my heart just to see like dreams come true. I'm like, all right, like that's my dude. Yeah, like, yeah, exactly. It's so cool. So Gabby, I do want to be respectful of your time. I have a couple fan questions, if that's cool with you.
Bring them.
All right. So asking, this is always a fun one. I'm sure you've faced a lot of these opponents. In a hypothetical date night dream match, who is there like a couple that you would like to take on? Like you guys like to take on, like I'm sure you fought Mike and Allie before, Lana Rusev, like you had fun with it. What's like a fun date night dream match?
You know who like a couple that hasn't like wrestled? Wait, have they? Have Charlotte and Andrade wrestled together?
I don't think so. That's a great answer though.
I would like that. That would be like a dream. That would be like a dream mixed tag. Or intergender. I don't care. There you go.
That's a perfect answer. So you are Philly roots, correct? You're from Philly? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You're from okay, awesome. Nunez was wearing the Rocky shirt today, so he wanted to point that out. Have you run the steps?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I have not.
Yeah, that's just like you like get born and then you run the steps.
Exactly. We're gonna do a marathon and then run the steps in a couple of days. I think I haven't done it yet. It has to happen. So also, what did I want to ask you? Yeah. So coming from Philly, I don't know if you're vegan or anything, but do you have like a favorite? Again, cliche cheesesteak spot. What's the spot?
Yeah, Jim's on South Street is my favorite. Jim Steaks.
Writing it down. That's awesome.
Awesome. Little underrated, a little some Philly people would say a little overrated. I think they're underrated because everyone goes for like Pat's or Geno's, but like
that's what we hear. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't go there. Those are tourist traps.
yeah. That's why like I don't write those ones down. I always write down like the other like the mom and pop shops are always good.
Yeah.
For sure. Awesome. And then just someone was asking, I guess like you did a road trip or something like that recently. How was that?
That was fun. My best friend moved to California from Philly. Her girlfriend lives out in California, and they got a place together. She got a job out there, and it was very sudden. It was like one day it was like, oh, I think I'm going to move to California one day. And then like a week later, she's like, I'm moving to California. So she's been my best friend for 16 years. Like we've been best friends for a long time. So as soon as she said that, I was like, all right, road trip. Like, I'll take you. Like, let's go. There was no thought about it. Like I was going to go with her and make sure she was okay because she had to drive her car out there. So we drove out there together and got a little bit of, bonding time and stuff because, she doesn't live here anymore. So it's like, I don't want to get emotional about it.
No, I'm sorry.
But it was a great trip. I mean, this country is weird. Like there's mountains all over the place. Like I did not know that. And like Colorado is insane. Like I had never seen anything like it before. Like I've been on the East Coast my entire life. Like
Yeah, same.
The end of I went to Japan, and I've been to Puerto Rico and England. I have been in England, but like out of all those places, it's like Colorado was like probably the most beautiful. It was gorgeous.
Really?
Yes, it was like a sight. Puerto Rico is beautiful, but like I had never seen like rocks like that before. Wow. It was crazy. It was scary a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I have some friends in Colorado, so now you got me thinking about it. That's really cool. And one more cliche one, but again, I think this is always a great question. We always like to know everyone's like origin story. Like obviously you mentioned being a child actor. What made you say, hey, I want to do that as far as wrestling?
My cat just walked by. I'm sorry.
Hey, cat cameo. We love the cat cameos. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Go ahead.
What was your question? Origin story. I wasn't. So I'm gonna start with like the sad part. My mom had passed away, so I had to like kind of give up all whatever creative endeavors I was doing at the time. I was in a band. I was doing auditions occasionally. I had just graduated high school, so I was about to have a lot of free time. I wasn't going to college or anything. But then my mom passed away, so I had to work. I had to work. I had no choice. We had bills to pay. We had food we needed to eat, and it was just me and my dad's income. So I had to kind of give everything up, and when I was able to kind of figure out how to like get back into creative, I didn't feel like it. I didn't want to. I was sad. Obviously, I was devastated. I didn't feel it anymore. And one night, me and my dad were just sitting around watching wrestling and stuff, and I was like, I think I want to do this. I watched it my entire life, but I was like, this is everything I've ever, like, it's acting. I love I've always loved sports. I never really was an athlete though, but I always loved sports. And I was like, I think this is something I can do, or maybe train for it. I don't even know how to do it. Like, how do you become a wrestler? Like, it was like at that time it wasn't really like public knowledge. Like there wasn't, like people weren't talking about wrestling schools. At least not in like the mainstream, And so I looked it up on WikiHow, told you how to become a professional wrestler. And then I just followed the steps and I did it. It was just one of those like aha moments, that like there's some people that have just known their entire lives that this is what they wanted to do. And then there's like me who would just clicked one day.
It's absolutely meant to be. Again, like show stealer all the time. We're so looking forward to seeing you. Real quick, I got to ask you this. You said you were in a band, big drummer for years and years and years over here. What did you play, or did you sing, or what?
Guitar, rhythm guitar, and I sang. I was the Dave Grohl of my band.
Nice. Okay, that is the best answer. Yes, very cool. Gabby, thank you so much for a few minutes of your time. Before we get out of here, we will get the shameless promo out of the way. I did want to ask you this one last question. What would you say to fans right now? Obviously, like this has been a very inspiring interview. Thank you for opening up about everything. What would you say to fans right now who are having a tough time with 2020?
Reach out to me if you want to. Like, I'll talk to you. Reach out to your loved ones. There's always going to be someone out there that wants to make sure you're okay. You're not alone. There's so many resources out there, and just talk it out. Don't keep it in. Don't bottle it in. That's like the worst thing you can do. And just know that this too shall pass and you'll be okay. And I'm here for you.
Beautifully said. I'm getting emotional. Very, very well said. Thank you so much for coming on. Let's get the shameless promo out of the way to completely segue somewhere else. Tell us where everyone can follow you on social media, all that good stuff, and merch if you got it.
Okay. So on social media, I'm at Gabby on Instagram and Twitter. I have a Facebook page that I think I'm going to delete soon because like it's been like getting kind of spammed, but you can like that if you want. I don't really use it that much, but Twitter and Instagram, that's where you're going to really find me, where I like go off. That's where Gabby goes off. Gabby, Gabbity. And if you go to whatamaneuver.com and look up Gabby Ortiz, you'll find my stuff.
Dig it, Gabby. And that's how you know you made it. Like, everyone's like, yeah, I'm getting rid of Facebook. I'm like, you're going to be on TV. I know what's going on here. No, I don't know anything. I'm just teasing. But Gabby, this was a pleasure. Thank you for opening up. Thank you for a few minutes of your time.
Thanks for
stay
having
safe.
me.
Oh, anytime. And continued success moving forward. Thank you so much. All right. And like we always say here, everyone, on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We are out. Peace.